What's good, guys? We come back at you with another video. Today, a little bit of a different video, as you can tell by the title. We're watching a weed documentary video. And, this is a weed channel, so, we smoke weed every day. That's how we get down. We do straight reviews, all types of stuff like that. So, maybe we can learn something in this documentary we got today. Found this documentary. It's a little bit of an old documentary. It's about teen addiction. So, let's get it. Marijuana teen addiction. So let's get it, guys.
Since I was a little kid.
I was smoking weed for like 2 months, and then I started getting involved in speed with a boyfriend of mine.
With pot, that made me forget so much. I mean, I used to have the best memory.
I started smoking marijuana off and on, a couple days a week, and then it got heavier and heavier to every day, and then it got to 10 times a day or more. And then at 14, I was doing speed and cocaine, and at 15 and 16
Since when
and 17,
does smoking weed
crack,
has
heroin,
anything to do with speed?
PCP, a lot of speed.
I use marijuana as a gateway drug. I started with that, and then I liked that, so I went on to acid, and then, I thought acid was cool, and then speed was around,
everything
so I did
why
speed,
does marijuana
and,
it just leads to speed?
Whatever else
What's good?
around.
I never did speed before.
Christy's first joint packed more than a
let's
brief
smoke bad
high.
weed.
There was an all-expense paid trip to a drug rehab center.
At least you got the
She
help
paid
she
the
needed.
tab.
Shit, doing speed.
I was 12, and I was with my boyfriend, and he did it, and, I wanted to fit in with my boyfriend, because him and all his friends did it. So he had some one day, and we were in a park, and, he just lit up a joint, and we smoked it.
Straight dope. If you smoke, you're more likely to use coke, yo. Coke.
Geraldine knows how the addiction just sort of sneaks up on you. She smoked for 5 years, and then she needed more.
For 5 years, she needed more.
It was easy for me to say yes to other things.
Well,
the only thing I got to try was the cocaine, and I pretty much got stuck
So
there.
this video is pretty much saying smoking weed.
Of all the addicts who can still speak, 9 out of 10 will tell you it all starts with pot. That's why they call it the gateway drug.
A lot of people start smoking marijuana, and then they think that's cool, and then they want to go try another drug.
Never been me.
And then they try another drug, and they like that one, so they try another one, and they get hooked on that one. It's just like, oh, well, this one's cool, so maybe I'll try this one.
Catherine Kim, like most youth counselors, has heard the same story time and time again.
I think this is a trend. Kids, they start with cigarettes. Smoke, and they think it's too mild, and then they go on to marijuana.
Before I ever
they smoke
started
three times.
Weed,
oh, this is too mild.
Marijuana, whatever you want
and that's when they start smoking or doing
never
drugs.
smoked a cigarette before.
They always started with the marijuana. I say about 95%.
First of all, you don't come here loaded. If you come here loaded,
don't come here loaded.
Kerry Quashen was able to shake his own habit, and now he's helping others as a drug rehab counselor.
The way people become drug addicts is not, they don't wake up one day and say, I'm going to be a drug addict.
Of course, who wakes up one day and be like, yeah, I'm going to speed. Like, the fuck?
I was like a slave of the drug. I needed that drug to survive.
Yeah, I just randomly
woke
up one day and was like, yeah, I'm going to smoke some weed. Like no.
That drug said, you need me, I'm taking over your body.
Is pot addictive?
How is that a stupid
question?
How is that a stupid question?
It's easy to believe you're in control. It's easy to believe a lot of things. Tom fell into that trap.
I find myself doing it every day. It's a pretty regular thing.
Very negative outlook on
addicted. I said, well, I can stop when I want to. And sometimes it's really hard to stop, Sometimes you can have some control.
It's not like you got a problem with beating control.
Why is pot so addictive? Dr. Dave Lewis, an expert on the subject, says
marijuana is very, very addicting. What happens is the addiction is at the nerve cell level. what we find is that after kids use marijuana for about 6 months, the serotonin level is driven down and bottoms out. Now, serotonin is our natural antidepressant. It's the way that we cope. So after kids have used marijuana for about 6 months, they literally don't have any coping mechanisms because their serotonin is gone. And so they have one way to treat their own depression, and that is to use more drugs.
One joint has the cancer risk of 5 cigarettes.
It's possible. A 14 or 15-year-old can be addicted to drugs just as much as a 18, 19, 20-year-old can be addicted to drugs.
I breathe, ate, slept, drugs, even when I was younger. I mean, there's not a whole week to go by that I didn't have weed, you know. And I got to the point where I need a joint, you know, and that was it. And then I was angry if I didn't get it.
Angry if you didn't get the weed.
Don't bogart that can, man.
Yo, they smoking out of a kid.
No, I'm rhyming.
Yo, that's like some hippie shit.
You guys better not be dealing.
Films like Reality Bites glamorize drug use and abuse. But the reality of addiction literally bites.
All you do around here, Troy, is eat and couch and fondle the remote control.
I am not under any orders to make the world a better place.
Well, then what good are you?
Pipe dream nightmares.
Dr. Joseph Harasti reveals yet another pot-smoking pitfall, and the hits just keep on coming.
Marijuana can also cause, and this has been well described again, is what is called an amotivational syndrome, where a person loses their motivation to do anything in life. I have a patient of mine. He was a 17-year-old. He was a junior in high school. He dropped out of school, and he essentially spent his whole day lying in his bed in his room, smoking joint after joint. His whole life collapsed around him. His whole life he became bedridden, bed confined to his room, smoking marijuana.
You don't really know when it's happening, but
he had the
sometimes tell. Like I stopped going to school. I would leave school campus, just go smoke or whatever. I got caught with it and still didn't bother me.
Smoking weed.
It makes people tired and lazy about things.
Just like last month, I didn't really care about anything. I don't care what happened.
Hey, yo, cuz, go give me that dub real quick.
Get in trouble. Don't care.
They just become whatever. Your life is just whatever. I'm here for.
Don't even go out to get the weed.
Who cares if I die?
So as long as I was able to get high, it really didn't bother me.
Whatever.
Using almost always means losing. Losing great relationships with real friends.
I felt like
it has great impact on the friendship. You only get involved with people that are doing what you're doing. Now, if they weren't smoking, I don't want anything to do with them. They weren't doing what I wanted to do. I'll just give you an example of my client. He's a 14-year-old boy going back to his old friends and said, hey, I found this great thing. It's better than just smoking cigarettes.
It's good
so let's try.
But like,
and they thought, well, hold on, smoking cigarettes is one thing, but doing drugs, doing marijuana is another thing. There's no way we can do marijuana. He separated himself from old friends. Yeah, he lost all his friends
because of weed.
Marijuana.
I felt like that was a choice.
It's the weed that kills friendships and chokes out families at the same time.
And it wasn't until April when the police brought her home, and then she told us that, she felt suicidal and she was in a bad way and she needed some help.
Yeah, I had tried to commit suicide a couple of times. I had big old slits on my wrists, and when they went to take my pulse, when the police went to take my pulse, they noticed them and they told her about it.
I ended up going on a 4-day therapy course for myself because I was so depressed.
That's sad. That's really sad.
I just couldn't handle it any longer. It was like my whole life had fallen apart.
It makes me feel really bad to know that I hurt her that much.
I don't think we'd have
to put her through what I put her through. I mean, I would never mean to hurt my mother. I love her a lot.
I walked away from my family.
Because of weed?
I allowed my family to think I was dead for 3 years. They had missing persons report on me.
What? Is that serious?
I rather them thought I was dead. I was just in the street. I mean, I was all over the place. Half the time I didn't even know where I was, and I really didn't care.
know where you was.
Just long as the drugs were there, you know, didn't bother me.
Now that the smoke is cleared, Christy can see the damage that was done by making a single wrong choice.
My life with drugs was a mess. You know, I got F's in all my classes, didn't do any work. I got into a lot of fights. I was really lazy.
After I get out of high school, I want to go to the Marines. But in order to go to the Marines, you have to graduate high school. So I had to do better in school. And after you graduate high school, they do give you drug tests, regular drug tests. So I kept on using. I could have been put in a military prison, or I could have been dishonorably discharged. And that's not really a smart choice to do. After I get out of the Marines, I want to go to college.
I think
to be so far gone that you know you need help, right? It's the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life.
What it done to my daughter is almost killed her.
Not the weed.
It really did. And I mean, I don't know whether you want me to go into this, but there's other sides of this too. She was using sex to get drugs. So where does AIDS come into this? You know, I mean, 13-year-old sleeping with a guy 21 to get drugs.
To a kid that's smoking pot, I'd say don't get into it because if you look at my life got really messed up just from smoking one joint. You know, it led to other things.
So your life fucked up because
I wouldn't advise that because I've gone through a lot. And I wouldn't wish that upon anybody, even if they were my worst enemy.
Weed did not make you want to speed. However you do speed, smoke it, snort it, I don't even know. However you do the weed did not make you want to do that.
I don't even think I'll be able to have kids, and that's not funny. And if I do, I'm not sure if I want them because they'll probably come out with some problems.
What was you doing to where you can't have kids? You was doing heroin, bro? Like, damn. Cause I smoke mad weed and I got a kid now, and she's perfectly fine and healthy. But no, that was documentary, anti-weed documentary, marijuana teen addiction documentary, whatever you want to call it. That was that. And yeah, so I guess they're pretty much saying weed is a gateway drug to speed and coke. That's really it. That's all I really heard about was speed and coke. And I had many differences. I do have many differences, different outlooks on it. And I think this video was really, really like dramatized. I really want to say that. Really, I think it was scripted. Honestly, I do think this video was scripted to a point. But that was that, guys. Until next time, that was like a little reaction video, you can call it. More to come in the future. Stay tuned. Pumping out the videos. Stay tuned, man.